Way! Wildlands. That's right, it's NFL Straya. And I'm your co-host, Jaymz Clements. I'm a guy here in the, what do we call it? The Sports Today studio, aka the Jaymz Clements Memorial Excellence in Podcasting Studio. You can also see me in the official NBL Supercoach show, the panel, NBA Straya, AFL Today, big, a live show Wednesday night? That'll be fun. Then a trade period. Oh, yes. And on the other side of this here table, that's right, we dragged his carcass off the streets of Melbourne. He did a lap of the MCG and then died. And we dragged him up here to talk and sometimes sing in a band called The Ramshackle Army. He's our, resident Fly Eagles Fly fan. Probably got sweared up by Nick Sirianni. He's my mate. He's your mate. It's Marathon Gaz. Gaz, what's going on?
How you doing, Jim? I'm back in the... We didn't mention that I'm back here for the first time in like a month.
Well, I did say on the other side of this table.
Oh, that is true. That is true. And I'm feeling sore, but not as sore as I was yesterday. I'm only here because you guys have a lift, because stairs have been my mortal enemy since Sunday, but I did complete my first ever Melbourne Marathon. Just scraped it over the line, as you mentioned. I had to stumble that last little K, but
Almost
I made it.
Scraped over the line, I think. But
I made it just as much as the Eagles scraped over the line against the Browns.
I like how you tied that together.
Tie that all in together. Anyway, we're here and we should probably talk about football.
We should. It is the Week 6 wrap show. I've got some thoughts about Week 6 that I'll get into in a second. But we're going to wrap all the games, obviously. That's what we do. We do some yeah-nahs. We've got some weekly awards as per usual. But in that yeah-nahs, what are we? We're a third of the way through the season already. So we're going to do our first third of the season NFL Straya Awards.
Okay.
We are. Trust me. This is the thing we always do on NBA Straya.
Right. Okay.
And I'm pretty sure we've done it on NFL Straya before. But I figured, why not? It's just a nice way to sort of wrap it all up so far. Because I love Week 6. We'll get to that. But there's lots to dig into. So let's get into it. This is episode 106 of NFL Straya. And let's go! Dude, fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Go fucking blow a dog, you dickheads! Fuck all of you Eagles fans! Fuck you, Eagle fan! Fuck you, Eagle... Oh, hey! This is Nick Sirianni, coach of the Eagles, and you're listening to NFL Straya. All right, Gaz.
He was just letting him know that we won after all that, Jim.
So, Nick Sirianni just fucking lets rip into some Eagles fans. He shaved his head. Can I call him Nick Brittaniani?
Yeah.
Because he's just gone off the fucking deep end. Like, it's nuts.
It was bye week. You got to change things up. They did ask him to change things up, and he did.
Change things up enough just to scrape by, as you mentioned, against the Browns. That's just embarrassing. Anyway, this is the Week 6 wrap. And look, this is my favorite week of, I think, the NFL season. Week 6, Gaz, is where you know what you know and you know what you don't know. And like all the casual sort of just happy to be here is kind of like fallen off a little bit. And like this is like, I think I've mentioned this before on this show. Like Week 6 when you're actually in the States and when you're doing like football Sundays one after the other, Week 6 is when like the fucking casuals piss off. Yep. And you're at the bar and like the people in that bar with you as well are just fucking hardcore. Because it's like, it's starting to get a little bit cooler. It's like the first, second week of October kind of vibe usually. Your partner's probably just like, are you going to do this every Sunday? Yeah. Like that kind of vibe. And it's like, yes, I am. You stand there in the bar and you just appreciate it. Because it's like, you're 6 weeks in, you've gotten the first 4 weeks, as we talk about. That's the preseason now. You've now got actual fun games. The teams are sort of who they are and who we think they ought to be. And it usually tends to be some of the best football watching. And I think this week was right there.
And you'll get to see the fans whose team, you can see the real diehard fans when their teams have already shit the bed. We've already got nothing left and they're still cheering. They're still in there.
That's why you change QBs. That's great. What a vibe. But that's it. Like the biggest news that we copped this week, well, I think this is going to be the storyline that dominates this week in general, is coaches. Because we called it. We called it last week.
It was absolutely ridiculous, Jim. I think I made a post the very next day because you did an Outback Takehouse about Saleh getting fired, and I brushed it off in last week's episode. And less than 12 hours later, woke up the next morning and Gonski.
Woody Johnson, big NFL Straya fan. I reckon. I loved it because that was the entire premise of the Outback Takehouse. Like, It was Aaron Rodgers, it was Woody Johnson being embarrassed by fucking Robert Saleh in the UK, where he was the fucking ambassador under Trump. Like, yeah, he was embarrassed in front of his mates. He's like, I'll fucking show you. You're fucking fired, Bob. And he's gone. It's amazing. Like, I love the story as well. It's like, oh yeah, we spoke to Aaron the day before, but he had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, he's offended by the ridiculous rumors that he had something to do with that firing.
Because how could you not trust everything that comes out of Aaron Rodgers' mouth? I'm just asking. But the thing is, so Bobby Saleh goes, and it does feel like that's the first sort of domino, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because it feels like you could see Doug Pederson if they lose again this week, or even if they just don't get to this week. Like, he just might be gone by the time this one goes up. We'll talk about that later. Mike McCarthy, question mark?
He's never, there's one thing about Jerry, I don't think he's ever fired a coach
mid-season,
right? Yeah.
Many would say that he's probably way too fucking loyal now.
Yep.
Whereas he used to be like super bloodthirsty, like, Jimmy Johnson, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And it's
He's
like,
only just won a Super Bowls, mate. You get on your horse.
Boom, then he sat on fucking Jason Garrett's lap for like way too long. And now he's like, Mike McCarthy, you're comfy, I'm going to stay here.
Yeah.
It's like being cuddled by a big panda.
Ridiculous.
But yeah, anyway, so I think that's going to be what dominates this week. The Jets, I expected a dead coach bounce. That did not happen.
Nope.
And we'll talk about the Raps, but they just look shit. So I don't know. Did I tweet this out? I can't remember. I might have said in one of the videos in the week, it wasn't Robert Saleh's fault that they were shit. They'd given up, I think, 2 offensive touchdowns in like 3-4 weeks. Like, the defense was as advertised.
Yep.
It was the shit fucking offense with Aaron Rodgers and his mate.
Averaging 2.6 yards a carry with those 2 running backs.
It was horrible. Anyway.
Yeah, man.
Bob Saleh, we hardly knew you, but we knew you well enough to know that you were shit. Yeah, I guess. Other news, the new QBs. Like, this week was a bit of a, that's shiny and new, because we had Drake Maye. It's gonna be May for the Pats, which I loved. Mayday.
I know. I got a text message at fucking 4:30, Jim.
It's gonna be May. The Raiders went, they chose between a giant douche and the shit sandwich with Aidan McConnell versus Gardner Minshew. And Spencer Rattler, he's a weird looking cat, but he came in for the injured David Derek Carr.
Well, they say Timu Patrick Mahomes.
Timu Mahomes. That's fucking good. Anyway, Mahomes from Wish. Yeah. Rattler looked okay for a half, and then didn't. But that was also a hard spot. Like, Todd Bowles, we'll talk about it in the Raps, but he just went, wait a minute, he's a rookie. Fuck him up.
Yeah.
And they fucked him up. Outside of this, Davante Adams, the trade talks, I think will be, as we hit on last week, right? Like, the fact that as they keep paying him, you have to pay him less.
Yeah.
It's going to keep sort of going back and forth.
Yeah.
But you have a week like this and you go, whoa, the Ravens, if they got a Davante Adams, it'd be over. Like, fucking hell. Yeah. The Jets, after another loss, it's like, it's like having a kid to save the marriage kind of vibe. Yeah. It's like, don't worry, Aaron, we'll get Davante Adams. Look, here he is. Isn't it cute? Look at him. Please don't leave me. Like, that kind of vibe. And it's sort of, Chris Olave goes out with a concussion. The Saints could definitely use another weapon as well. It just feels like there's plenty of fucking suitors out there just who wants to pony up.
If it's if teams like the Ravens keep pulling ahead and it becomes an arms race in the AFC and you've got all these wide receivers dropping in Kansas City, do you just roll the dice?
Buffalo, wouldn't he, though?
That's true.
Jeez.
Mate.
Anyway. But yeah,
it's going to be a game of chicken, as you said. It's you're paying him less, but you also don't want to be the guy who sat on his hands for too long and missed out. So it's going to become a game of chicken. Anyway,
I love it. Just get him out of the fucking Raiders. They're so bad. I think that was the surprise team I had as like the worst in the fucking cooked rankings.
Yeah,
I'm like, they're unwatchable. Like you watch them go, what am I doing? I've got better things to do.
Yep.
Anyway, other little bits and bobs. Mario Edwards got suspended 4 games because he violated the substances of abuse policy. So he's now on the Texans. So it's a bit of a weird one. Without pay, substances of abuse. Okay, Mario, sort yourself out. I'm just thinking, like, I'm trying to make like a Super Mario joke. I just don't want to. Like,
don't want to tarnish the good name of Mario.
Jonathan Allen tore his pec as well, which fucking
not great.
sucked for the Commanders. It's great for the Eagles, but very shit. Anthony Richardson looks like he's going to play this week if he's got no setbacks from his oblique. My question to you, Gaz.
Should he?
Why? Do you like the thing is though, like Flacco has been so fucking good, you kind of like roll with Smoke and Joe, but by the same token, is Joe better in small doses? Just like let the old man have a bit of a rest for a couple of weeks until Anthony Richardson gets inevitably gets injured again. We don't want to wish injuries on people, but he just gets hurt. That's just what happens. But Smoke and Joe, like, he did the entire back half of last season and was fucking awesome.
Yep.
And doing it again.
It's so weird because towards the end of like his first retirement, let's call it, he was just noodle arms.
He was so bad.
There was just nothing there. I mean, he played that one season, he was a backup for the Eagles, and then I can't remember who he was before he went
He had like one bad throw this week, but outside of that, you're like, fucking just look at him do things.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
He just had this noodle arm that was going nowhere, and then he had like half a season off, and then he's just come back and gone, oh, fucking chip this rocket.
Living the dream.
Yeah.
Jerome Ford's week to week with a hammy, and Tua is not going to play this week, but Mike McDaniel did say that he's expected to play in 2024. Do we actually think he comes back?
I don't know, but someone's post this week was his first play from scrimmage. Someone needs to call a designed QB delay just to prove that he's just not scared. I'm like, really though?
Maybe. The big injury for this week was Aidan Hutchinson breaking his fractured fibula. Tibia. It's like one of those ones where they go fractures, but it's like basically one of those. I don't think they said compound. Compound means it comes out through the skin, right? But they showed one replay.
Yep. And
it went one part went that way, the other way went that way.
It's like it wrapped around his teammate's leg.
Fucking brutal. I hate it.
Yep.
So he's done for the season. They put a rod in there. He's more machine now than man, which pretty good for Aidan Hutchinson, I guess. But the big loss here is everybody else because we don't get to see his smoke show family in the stands. Show more of the sisters. Fuck. Anyway, Travis Etienne.
He was leading sacks. Yep.
It was like someone trying to figure out, like, what was his rank in, like, the defenders this year? It's like top 2? Like, fucking hell, he's been that good.
Yep.
So it sort of does, like, it's a big enough injury that it does maybe change the outlook for the Lions, but at the same time, they can just score more anyway.
Yep.
Just go, fuck it, more offense. Travis Etienne came out of the London game against Chicago with a hammy.
Yep.
Justin Simmons came out, I think, with a hammy as well for Atlanta, which sucked. He's also old, so you're like, what the... Marvin Harrison Jr. and Chris Olave both had concussions, and so did Pat Surtain, which sucked from my Denver pick this week because they were right there, especially right at the end. Dontavian Wicks hurt his shoulder. Laramie Tunsil did an ankle, and the Eagles.
Yeah, that'll...
Darius Slay came off with a bung knee.
Yeah, real early.
Mailata had a
hamstring
hammy, and
it looks bad too because he was hobbling off, and that's not great.
What was the Goddard injury as well?
He went off super early. I can't remember, actually.
I had it written down, but then I deleted it for some reason. Anyway, he's injured. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Trades, head coaching stuff. Let's wrap some games. Game 6, week 6 game wraps. Let's go. Remember Thursday? Friday?
Barely.
San Fran, Seattle. It was weird. 36-24. The Seahawks are just shit. I feel sad because they were good and I look like a genius. And now they've just got too many injuries and they're just
fucked. Like Gino's gone back to 3 years ago, Gino. It's not.
Week on week, it's such a weird situation where it's like, hey, I'm good. Hey, I'm bad. Hey, I'm good. Hey, I'm bad. It's like you've got DK Metcalf, you've got Jackson Smith and Jigba, you've got who's the other? Tyler Lockett. It's like, awesome. Fucking throw it to them. What are you doing? But their defense is just too banged up. The Niners D was very obviously healthier, and they were fucking just steamrolling the Seahawks. What I didn't realize when I tipped Seattle, this was their third game in 11 days.
Oh, shit. Yep.
I don't think that's good.
No.
So, fuck that one. Brock Purdy was really good for the Niners.
Yep.
Jordan Mason hurt his shoulder. I assume you're watching this. They went in like after the half, and I'm like, I've got him for like 80 yards in a bet, and he did one more run.
Yep.
Got 12 more yards, got to like 72 or no, 84 or some shit. I'm like, yes. And then didn't play again because they shot him up and he hurt it again. It's like, oh, that's not great.
Yep.
But it didn't matter. Like everybody who fucking touched the ball just ran over the top of the Seattle defense. So keep that in mind for the preceding weeks, I guess. No, not the preceding, the next bunch of weeks. Because they're just holier than Swiss cheese at this point. Like, it's crazy.
Well, they're talking about CMC back after their bye, I believe.
Maybe.
Something. Yeah.
They've got what is it? It's a Super Bowl rematch this week, which will be fun. But, yeah, Seahawks cooked, Niners looking much better. And to the point where it's like, oh, after all the fucking hullabaloo, they're on top of the NFC West.
Yep.
And
they're expecting week 10 against the Bucks at the moment, November 10.
Yeah. 3-3 after all that. You're like, good. You'll take that with all the injuries they've had.
Yep.
Purdy, this also feels like, so Brock Purdy makes it into the MVP conversation towards the back half of last year, right? And basically Christmas Day game against Baltimore, he loses the MVP just because he was shit.
Yeah.
First 6 weeks basically just don't fucking matter when it comes to NFL MVP.
Memories. Yep.
Could he be like the one who now, if the Niners are just good the rest of the way, if Pat Mahomes is fine, if Lamar's probably just running away with it at the moment, could Brock be the guy?
All right,
cool.
Yet. No.
All right, London, let's do it. Chicago. Well, actually, I'll put it to you as an Eagles fan. Do the Niners scare you?
Well, yeah, they'll always scare us because they've just got those weapons top to bottom that if they're all healthy and clicking at the same time, it's just when they're all on point, they're uncoverable, right? Between, Kittle, Ayuk, Jennings, fucking Debo.
Debo was real handy as well in that game too.
CMC, and now they've brought in Mason, so someone else to rest in the backfield, Mason. Yeah, no.
Because what was it? They basically go, what's your name? He's like, hi, I'm Isaac Guaranado.
Yeah.
I'm like your fourth string running back. They're like, all right, you go. And he's like, all right, 9.9 yards of carry.
But that's
like, what the
always
fuck,
been
man?
that Shanahan offense. It was like years ago before the CMC. It was just a fucking.
I think the
turnstile.
worst part about this one was the jumping into the stands to kiss your wife. As a fellow married man,
yes.
If you're another player on that team, you'd be like, oh, you fucked this for all of us.
Yeah.
You prick. Fuck. Now, if my missus doesn't have a box on the fucking sideline, and if I fucking score a touchdown and don't give her a kiss, I look like the asshole.
Yep.
Thanks a lot, Gaz. Like that kind of vibe, right? Because what was it? It was Kittle and then it was Juszczyk.
Yeah.
They both did it. Also, how do you have a fucking box on the sideline on the road?
Yeah. Like Taylor's not coming down for that shit.
Kiss through the helmet as well is like, that's next level.
Yeah,
it's like, you do some weird shit at home.
Yeah.
Producer Joe, we've gone fucking way weird sex stuff today, haven't we? It's fucking, anyway. NBA Straya was off the chain. Don't worry about it. London, LDN. Start singing some Lily Allen.
Sure.
LDN, that was a song.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay.
Chicago 35, Jacksonville, a very, very shithouse 16. Oh, Jags. Trevor Lawrence is 3-1 in London before this game.
Well, it's nice because it's going to be their new home. So,
and Trevor Lawrence is maybe just not good anywhere now.
Well, so I saw the highlights of this game, and obviously this sort of shit doesn't appear in the highlights. But they were talking about 2 to 3 potential touchdowns were dropped. And that's been an ongoing theme through the season, Jim.
I'd argue that it's like when you're throwing the ball into like pretty crazy coverage and you're getting cleaned up as you're fucking catching the ball. Yeah, it's a drop catch. It's tough.
Yeah.
Like, I'll put a little bit on the QB as well.
Yeah.
the craziest part was you watch that the Jacksonville side of it, and it starts off pretty good for them, and then it all just goes to shit. And Caleb was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like, he was so good in this game.
Yeah.
To the point where he has 4 touchdowns, 2 to Cole Kmet, 2 to Keenan Allen. And he now has the most touchdown passes of any Chicago rookie QB ever. It's week 6, guys.
Yep.
That's insane.
That says something about
that's how bad it's been.
Yeah, and he's going to within. If it's not this year, it'll be in the next 2 years. He'll set the franchise passing in a season because they've never had a.
No one else has done shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jacksonville got up 3-zip, and you're like feeling okay, feeling good, and then they punt again, and then it's just like they get an interception late, and then it's just like touchdown, 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 and then Trevor Lawrence throws the inevitable interception where they're down 28-10, and you're like, yeah, this game is pack her up, boys, we're done. But that's the Trevor Lawrence experience. It's like, we're kind of in it. Yeah, fuck this. We're cooked. And it's like, it's inopportune times every fucking time. I don't know. But Caleb Williams and that Chicago team, if the defense stays, they keep getting injured on defense, which is a bit of a problem because you hit like basically a line of demarcation where it just gets really fucking hard. But they've been good on D. So if the offense can sort of balance that out, they're actually kind of maybe good.
Yeah, the linebackers was a strength, and they've just been dropping like flies.
Washington, Baltimore, this was probably, I don't know, one of the 3 most fun games of the weekend. 23-30. Baltimore had 28 first downs, 484 yards. It was insane. And the thing was, like, Washington were always just kind of there.
Yeah.
And this was like a masterclass in Baltimore defense where I don't think they got any yardage on schemed runs at all, Washington. So no Brian Robinson.
Yes.
So when they've gone out there with like Eckler, Jayden Daniels, stuff like that, they just got basically nothing on schemed-ish kind of like setup stuff. So it was bizarre. So they just could not run it. They're like, that's fine. Jayden Daniels kept them in it by throwing it.
Yeah.
2 amazing fucking touchdowns to McLaurin.
Yeah.
But outside of that, it was kind of like, it was amazing like watching Lamar on one end just go, I do fucking pretty weird shit. Check this out. And Zay Flowers goes off his head for the first half. And they go, all right, well, we've just blown your fucking ass open with Zay Flowers. Now we're just going to run it down it with Derrick Henry. And you're like, all right, this is more Draymond Green, LeBron James stuff.
Yeah.
Then they remembered that Mark Andrews existed. He had a shit drop, but turns out it didn't matter. And Washington are kind of like, I don't like the idea of moral victories, but this was almost like, you guys are good.
Yeah.
Like you're actually
stuck
good.
with them.
You're 4-2.
Yeah.
You were there with like probably the best team right now in the NFL.
Yeah.
It was great. So.
Yeah, no, it's good. And Dez's gone off for that 132, and he's scored in every game so far this year.
He's the rushing leader by over 100 yards already.
Yep.
He's 30.
Yep.
Track the Cedo season. I love it. Awesome stuff. Baltimore, loved it. It was amazing to watch this defense just go bend, don't break. Jayden Daniels beat us with a big throw. He's like, well, fucking, I might check this out. But he couldn't quite get there. Nah. But it was really, really fun. I fucking love this Commanders team. Yeah. Tampa Bay 51, New Orleans 27. This was a close game until this game was fucking nuts. I'll tell you why. I think it was a 17-0 scoreline. But that was for Tampa Bay. So you're like, oh yeah, cool. Tampa Bay going to run away with this. Then it was 27-24, I want to say. Yeah, 27-24. Saints. And then the Saints didn't score again. So 51-27. They scored 27 points, guys. All in the second quarter.
Yep.
What the fuck is up with this Saints team? It's weird.
But isn't it also the same quarter that Baker went, look, I'm going to be awesome for the bit. And then I'm going to throw 3 interceptions in the same quarter.
And he almost died on like a fucking, he's like wearing the giant flak jacket already.
Yeah.
And he got hit on like, he's out there fucking like, running interference on dudes and shit. And anyway, Baker was everywhere. Chris Godwin's awesome still. He was just kicking ass, taking names. I think I did mention in the fantasy video preview, it's like just steer clear of Mike Evans this week because they fucking hate each other, like the Saints and the Bucks. And that's right. Like he
Real chirpy.
He had two receptions on 6 targets with 34 yards. And like he and Marshawn Lattimore just always punch on, right?
Yeah.
Like it's awesome. So whereas Godwin's like, oh, well, you do that.
You do that. I'm going to be over
I'll
here
go nuts.
catching.
And Sean Tucker was fucking incredible too.
Yeah.
So it's like Bucky Irving's just trucking dudes. Was Bucky Irving had like the stiff arm, double stiff arm?
Really unfortunate. I was playing fucking McKeegan this week and I had White. White goes out injured. And I'm like, oh, I'll just see if I can pick up his backup on the waiver. And no, it's
McKeegan's got him.
McKeegan's got him.
Classic. Tampa Bay though, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm so out on the Saints.
Yeah, that didn't last long, did it, Jim? We've gone
lasted
from
2 weeks. Like I'm so
and it
angry.
was all these records, and it's like this has been ridiculous. And maybe Derek Carr just has never had the right coach. Maybe he's just got this coach and he's allowed to play the way he's going to play. And then no, maybe it's not that.
Remember when Kubiak was like the hottest name just out there after 2 weeks? He was breaking records. And we didn't hate Dennis Allen. I always said it. Dennis Allen.
You've always hated it.
That's what you get when your name's Dennis Allen. Anyway, 51 points by Tampa Bay. They have an awesome game coming up this week as well. It's going to be awesome. Hey, 16 Cleveland, Philly, 20. Gaz, this was gross.
Well, it was.
Explain yourself.
So once again, the Eagles continued that trend that has plagued us for the whole season and didn't score in the first quarter, Jim. But apart from that, we're starting with moving the ball. It was great to have AJ and Smitty back, which was great. Lane Johnson back in, moved the ball up and down, got to a 10-point lead, and it was 10-3, Jim. And we're just going to go in the half. We're marching down. And I think, you know what? It's going to put up at least 3 points. And blocked field goal return for a touchdown. Myles Garrett busted through the line. And then all of a sudden, what was pretty comprehensive from the Eagles, because let's be honest, Deshaun Watson is pretty fucking shit and couldn't move the ball around. And then all of a sudden, we're going in the half.
10-10.
10-10. And the Eagles crowd, they let people know about stuff, Jim. So Nicky Sriracha was hearing about the fire Nick Sirianni chants going in at halftime.
So yeah,
when you're 10-10 at and you're at 500. So it wasn't great.
It is a tough 10-point swing to have a block field goal. So that's 3 points you're scoring. That gets taken away and they score 7.
Yeah,
like, that is so like to actually still win that game though.
Yeah,
like happy.
Yeah.
But fuck.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's crazy.
It was destroying. And look, they came back out. Didn't rely on Barkley. There's been a lot from this season that's been, oh, do you know what? If you didn't have Saquon, you wouldn't have got over the line there. So it was good to not need that. And let's be honest, when we salted away the last 2 minutes, we were in field goal range. So 4 points is 4 points and a win's a win. But yeah, you wanted it to be more comprehensive.
Yeah, unless you bet on the fucking Eagles to win, you know.
Because it was the biggest line of the week, right? But the other thing is, when you look at we had Cooper DeJean, our white starting corner, Jim. He's in there starting. He played a great game, particularly when Saleh went off early. Ringo was in. Isaiah Rodgers busted his fucking hand. So our secondary was a little bit weird and wonderful. But they still only gave up 9 points. When you take away that return, they're like keeping that to 9 points, keeping them out of the end zone. And at one stage in the second half, fucking Deshaun Watson went, I think he was 9 for 9.
Yep.
He definitely was 8 or 8, 9 for 9.
Yeah, he was slinging it out of nowhere. It's like, oh shit, my bet is really going to lose.
Yeah.
Still lost, but geez, at least you still won the game.
Yeah, and look, I think Ford went out early, and they're expecting Chubb back this week, so it'll be interesting to see if he has any effect. Like if you're Nick Chubb, do you go, fuck, one leg nearly got severed off, and I've worked my ass off for the last 6 months, 12 months to come back to this shit show.
I'm going to hang out with Deshaun Watson.
There was times on the sidelines of this game, Jim, where I'm like looking over and he just didn't want to, just didn't look like he wanted to be there.
Deshaun.
He's not talking to any of his teammates, just sitting there like, for fuck's sake. Halfway through the game.
I'm going to talk about this later. I've got a couple of thoughts. Okay. Good stuff. Good win, though, just to win the fucking game. It wasn't good, but it was a win.
Yeah.
Indy 20, Tennessee 17. Exactly what you think from this game. It was chaos. It was really fun.
Yeah.
There could have been more scoring. But Will Levis is just like, hey, check this out. Anytime like they just Will Levis doing these ones, I'm like, I don't know if he's like upset. He's like the Home Alone kid. He's like, I've just thrown another interception, or I'm waiting to hear that next play call. You just don't know. It's awesome. It's chaos. Like he's just like, I reckon I can hit that guy. Dude, there's 3 defenders. Like, what are you doing? He's like, nah, I got this. Like Brian Callahan's just like, this is fucked. Like it's a rollicking roller coaster ride, the Will Levis experience. And to have that against Joe Flacco, which is like, how is he doing this? This is incredible. It's wicked. So this was a very fun game. And I'll tell you what, the biggest thing in it was Josh Downs. Like the Pittman had a massive, massive touchdown where he like, awesome high point, but Downs like just every time it sort of felt like they had a drive sort of stuttering, faltering against this actually okay-ish Tennessee defense. He just pop out of like a seam and just like bang, cool. Sideline, first down, you're like, he's good. He's fast. He's sturdy. And like Pittman, for a dude, I think he wasn't going to play this week as well. He's like under an injury cloud. Yeah. And he's just out there fucking crushing. I'm like, all right, that's good.
Covered. Like dude's on his back, he was making catches. The bit that spins me out about this, the stats line from Levis is he completed 16 passes, Jim, did not make it to 100 yards.
That's awesome.
95 yards, 3.5 yards. So if you look at going back to the previous game that we just referred to, Jalen Hurts also completed 16 passes, 264 yards.
Yards after the catch are important, I reckon.
Deshaun Watson, who had earlier this season had the lowest air yards in a game by any 16 completions, 168 yards, Jim. Like, I don't understand how you can complete.
That's amazing.
3.5 yards.
This was at home. They've got decent receivers.
They've spent money on Calvin Ridley. They've got DeAndre Hopkins. I'm going to talk about Boyd.
I'm going to talk about Boyd sitting there. Like Boyd was like this one where I'm just like, oh yeah, that's good fantasy. That's a bit sneak. And I didn't get him in like any league. I'm like, thank fuck. Because like whatever. He had three receptions in 19. My favorite one this week though is, and I was going to bring him up later, but on 8 targets, how many catches and yards do you reckon you should have in the NFL? Oh. It should be more than 0. I'll cut you off because that's what fucking Calvin Ridley had.
Oh.
Do you reckon he bet on his under? Wink, wink. Just saying. Anyway, Arizona Green Bay, this looked fun. The game was not fun if you're a Cards fan. They kicked the shit out of him. 34-13. It was Romeo Dobbs getting some nice cuddles from his mates. That was good. Hug your mates. You know, just hug your mates. That's what Romeo Dobbs gets 1 fucking game suspended. Comes back and is like, I'm going to catch all these fucking balls and I'm going to give all my friends hugs. It was so good. He crushed it. So that was really fun. The losing Marvin Harrison, you're like, oh, yeah, they're fucked.
That's not
And like James Conner had like a run. We go, there you go. They're good. Oh, and then it just got stopped again. And they kicked the fuck out of it. Like Kyler Murray, as we say, he's like a toddler running with a loaf of bread. Time and time again in this game, going nowhere.
Yeah.
So
trying to rely on Trey McBride to dig them out as the only
he had a couple of nice catches.
Yeah,
like, he's a great release valve as well. But if your entire offense is now just like, oh, fuck,
that guy.
that dude, you're cooked. And this was the exact Arizona. I went pretty hard on Green Bay for this game as well.
Yep.
And, it was like the 2 weeks on the road for Arizona. They beat the Niners last week. That's a massive, massive divisional game. Mm-hmm. This was the inevitable letdown, and it was a big letdown. Yeah. Houston, New England, 41-21. It's gonna be May. Drake Maye. Bad start. Yeah, you get that on the big jobs. Then it was okay. Like, how enough can I go? Like, fair enough?
Yeah.
Because, like, it was good. It wasn't great, but if you think about the other rookie QBs who have started this year, Bo Nix had a shit first game. I already would say that he's looking better than Bo Nix. Caleb and Jayden both had sort of rough first games.
Hang on. Let me pause there. Are you saying he's looking better than Bo Nix now, who's actually gone on and win a couple of games, or are you saying that he
looks more competent than Bo Nix already straight away? The flip side is that he looks way too much. He's got Zach Wilson face.
Yeah, okay.
He looks too young.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're 12, shut up. You shouldn't be out there, you're going to get hurt.
Yep.
It's bullshit. Right? Like, I just look at him and go, nah, just fucking baby. Just get out of it. It's like Zach Wilson. What are you going to do? Drake Maye get mono at like one of those horrible bars in Boston, like down near the Garden. The Garden. When did McGreevy's close, by the way? What the fuck?
Oh, that happened
Like 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm still fucking spewing about this.
Yep.
For all those who don't know.
I was going to say, you got to give some context.
Yeah, McGreevy's is like the bar that was owned by the Dropkick Murphys.
Ken Casey from Dropkick
Murphys. It was like on the way to Fenway down Boylston. And awesome bar, like just decked out in all baseball paraphernalia and shit on the way. Like you basically go there. I've done it many a time. Like that morning, early afternoon as you're walking down to Fenway, stop in for a few tins and off you go. And then it was also, I think, old mate and I had been in Boston for something else. Yeah. And we were just like stuck. Fuck it, we'll go in there. That'd be awesome. We'll go into McGreevy's later on. And they played Don't Stop Believing by Journey 4 different times in the 2 hours that we were there. It was just like
of course
the entire
I did.
fucking place went off. Shit. Yeah. It was, dude, I fucking love this song, kid. Kid, dude, play it again, dude. It was amazing. Anyway, Drake Maye, so he finished with 243 yards. 4 sacks. He had one fucking horrible kind of sack that I think also led to a fumble, I want to say. Yes, that they lost. He had one interception that wasn't his fault. One that was definitely his fault. He had 3 touchdown passes, some of which were fucking beautiful.
Which is interesting because you don't have any receivers.
No. You know how many touchdowns he had in this game, Gaz? 3. You know how many touchdown throws Jacoby Brisket had this season? 2.
There you go.
He's already got more than fucking Jacoby Brissett. He's awesome. I love him. Anyway.
Till he gets deaded, Jim.
I know. I like that he's number 10. Because it's like, I look at it, I'm like, oh, it's kind of like 12. Which I appreciate. And on the flip side, like, Demario Douglas, Booty, I love Kayshawn Booty. He was the first touchdown catch. It was a beautiful fucking throw. Hunter Henry was a really solid fucking couple of passes that he caught as well. I just liked it. It was like, oh, God, it's good to see competency. Like fun, insane, not in like competency, like an actual
football team,
proper quarterback. But I can move the ball better than fucking Jacoby Brissett.
Yes.
So on the flip side, CJ Stroud had 3 touchdowns as well.
He's pretty good.
But I think we've sort of danced around this. Like Houston, they've put up fucking 41 points. But at the same time, the Pats are just a mess on both sides at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm getting worried about coaching. Gerard Moe's just got this look on his face every time they coach. He's like, what? He's got like a quizzical look. And I'm like, you shouldn't be quizzical. You should be either yelling at a ref going, you got that fucking wrong, you idiot. Or you should be yelling at another coach or another player. Yeah. Don't look going, what's happening?
What's going on here?
Don't ever look like what's fucking happening. That's fucked. Anyway, but Houston, so 41 points, they smashed the Pats.
Yeah.
They still are so fucking young and scrappy though.
Yeah.
Like they're so messy.
Yeah.
And CJ Stroud has these moments where he's like, what the fuck did I just do? He's got like a look on his face. He's like, I didn't know. Sure. No idea what was going on there.
Yep.
And you're like, but that's not great. So it's this thing that's in the back of my brain about like the rest of the Houston's year, I think. I'm just like, in big spots, is it going to bite him in the ass? Probably.
Almost going back to there was this interview many years ago with Drew Brees, and he never rated NFL quarterbacks either direction until after year 3, because he said after year 3 is when everything slowed down.
Sure.
Everything just became intuitive. So
you're running on raw 3 games now. Jesus Christ.
He goes, you're running on raw, like kind of ability and a bunch of luck in those first couple of years. And then year 3, like, everything slows down. And obviously you had that 1 or 2 awesome defenders on your opposition in college. If you're playing Georgia, maybe a lot more. But then when you're surrounded by an entire opposition of that speed, like the world just needs to calm down a little bit. So the fact that Stroud was able to do what he did, and the fact that Daniels is doing what he's doing against defenses like the Ravens, like it's pretty fucking wild.
It is. Yeah. Look, I'm just happy that Drake Maye survived game 1.
Yep.
I don't know how he's going to survive the rest of the fucking season. The O-line is so bad. But he's good enough at times that you go, that was sick.
That was sick.
Happy
What I
days.
found interesting is Damian Pierce still lives.
He ripped one off too. He went massive.
I didn't even realize that you were still a thing.
Yep.
But and Joe Mixon's just keep doing what he's fucking doing.
they basically had
yards a carry.
Yeah, Pierce got in for 8 because who was their other sort of backup? So Mixon.
Cam Akers,
that's right. So it's just like, yoish. But Pierce just ripped off a massive run for a touchdown and off he went. You're like, still exists. That's good. Yeah. Chargers Denver, 23-16. Jim Harbaugh had fucking, it wasn't heart arrhythmia, but it was something similar.
It was an episode. It was a rhythmic flutter.
A rhythmic flutter, that's right.
It.
So he felt sick and they're like, oh, but it was like very much call an ambulance, but not for me.
Yeah.
Just like they fucking kicked the shit out of Denver. And then Denver just sort of slowly worked their way back into the game. And it looked so bad for the first half and then kind of started getting into it.
Yep.
Kicked a field goal on a first down to give themselves more time. It's like, don't know if I'd do that, but I'm not Sean Payton.
Yep.
At some point, Denver, you just got to go. I think losing Surtain hurt more than you could possibly imagine because Herbs was just fucking piffing it around. It's like, turns out the bloke who threw for like 5,500 yards, 5,200 or something a couple of years ago can throw the ball a bit. So, I don't know. Jim Harbaugh.
Still, beginning of the season, Bo Nix, no receivers, Sean Payton being fucking rubbish last year with Rusty. Like, they're not going to win a fucking game. They've showed a little bit of pluck, Jim.
Yeah, they're 3-3.
Sitting there 500.
Feeling okay. Javonte Williams didn't do, like the Chargers defense just might be pretty fucking good.
Yep.
Like, they couldn't really, like J.K. Dobbins had 96 yards, but they couldn't do a giant amount sort of out. Well, they sort of did enough on offense, but their defense just went, that's cute what you guys are trying to do. Fuck off.
Yeah.
And fucking killed them. Just strangled them. Pittsburgh 32, Raiders 13. This was just a fucking out-and-out embarrassment. The thing is, the Raiders did it again. They started off well and then just fell completely the fuck apart. And it's weird watching a Pittsburgh game because you feel like at any point it could turn. I think being a Pittsburgh fan, watching them and Justin Fields would just be absolute heart attack territory, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because he had 3 sacks, but he had 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. But like it felt like at any point he had another fumble. He's had a fumble in every game so far this season. It feels like he's just like, oh, I'm going to give you the ball. No, I'm not. Fuck it. Just tricking you. On almost every play.
Running around like a bad man again. Like, there's still calls. They're 4-2, but there's still calls to, if he's really healthy, you should probably put Rusty back in there. Because, they're winning. You're not exactly playing the hot hand by keeping Fields in, right?
I don't know. He's good.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah.
But is Rusty good-ish though? I feel like Rusty's bad-ish.
You're not like, if your defense doesn't hold up every single game.
Well, at least this time they got Najee Harris going. It was good to see him actually sort of vaguely fucking paying attention. He had 106 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
And then Pickens was still a fucking dickhole. Like, I'm going to talk about him again later. But anyway, Pittsburgh just kicked the fuck out of the Raiders because they're the worst team. Detroit, Dallas, this was the most fun game of the weekend, wasn't it?
Holy shit, Jim.
47-9.
So the best thing, I haven't mentioned it yet, but the best thing about waking up in a lot of pain after a marathon was seeing your team squeak over the line. Fuck, thank God that's out of the way. And then proceed to watch 3 separate games of your division rivals all fucking lose, Jim. It was great. And not only did the Cowboys lose.
But how?
Holy shit. This was amazing, Jim. This was absolutely amazing.
I can't believe on my 82nd birthday I had to watch this goddamn bullshit. Okay, Jerry. Cowboys have now allowed 167 points in the last 4 home games.
Wow.
That includes a playoff game.
Yeah.
I'm no math magician, Gaz. But 4 in 167 is pretty fucking bad.
Yep.
Not great. Anyway, there's the 3rd most over a 4-game span in NFL history. 3rd most. There's been a lot of bad teams in the NFL. That's pretty fucking remarkable. My favorite part of this, though, was Detroit just fucked around all game.
Amazingly.
And just kicked the fuck out of them. It was awesome. like, unless you're a Cowboys fan, and God bless you if you are. But
No, that's not right.
holy shit. Like, that was just, it was an ass kicking from fucking pole to post.
That's what Jerry Jones said. It was like, I can't believe they were playing with us. And like, for those who didn't watch it, playing with is an understatement. Because if you remember that the game ended last year controversially about reporting eligible, and they told us about that a million times. So what did they do, Jim? They reported a lineman as eligible and then passed to him that got called back. But then there was also the end around flea flicker. There was the
Laporta touchdown, right?
Yeah.
There was the Penny Sewell one that got called back.
Penny Sewell, right? Like,
one.
dude, it's an end around by a lineman.
They're just like, we're gonna get a big boy touchdown no matter what.
That was amazing.
So
The two of them called back. You're like, oh, all right. yes, all right. But it was amazing. Like, don't get me wrong, Dallas are
banged up,
injured as fuck on defense, right? Still no Micah. Still no Bland is a week or two away. No Lawrence. You can't blame injuries for the fact that they have absolutely zero run game.
Oh, yeah.
Outside CD, like, what do you got there? Turpin has been great Tolbert has been great for as secondary receiver in the last couple of weeks. Turpin's been great on returns, but fuck, mate, outside that, there's always this conversations on the sideline between, Dak and CD every week. But I'm like, dude, you guys can't do everything. You have no run game. What do you expect?
It's crazy.
And that Detroit team is pretty fucking good.
Jake Ferguson ripped off the classic throw in the drop. 311. Fucking love 311 on you, Jake Ferguson, you legend. But I think the craziest thing for me was Detroit just going, look at all the things we can do. We can run right over top of you. Montgomery has 2 touchdowns. Gibbs was threatening all fucking game as well.
Yep.
They had a touchdown, a big one to Jameson Williams. They had one to Laporta, obviously with the flea flicker. They had one to Amon Ra. And Tim Patrick is alive.
That was what I was going to say.
And he just kept fucking
yarder.
popping up. He kept popping up and just going, that was a good catch, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, is that fucking Tim Patrick?
He used to be good before you broke a leg.
Both your fucking knees and an Achilles or whatever. Anyway, good win. 38-20, Atlanta kicked the fuck out of Carolina. Slow start from Kirk again, didn't matter. Bijan and Drake got going, and that was all she wrote.
It was close for a bit. It was like
Andy
2
Dalton,
points there for a while.
Andy Dalton threw an interception. You're like, game
there
over.
we go. Done.
Classic. Red rifle into the noggin. One other thing that I sort of meant to mention at the top, offense is back.
Yes.
I think in a bunch of these games, it was like 9 of the 10 or something. We had a team score 30 points or something, basically, which was very fun. And Atlanta kicking the fuck out of Carolina is exactly what we wanted to see.
Yeah, you expect that.
What we did not get was an offensive explosion in Sunday Night Football. Cincy 17, Giants 7.
This was a really, really tough watch.
So I wrote down it was a grind of a game, but in a kind of fun way that it was a grind because it went quick and it wasn't that shit. Like I've seen shitter games. But every time the Giants had the ball, you're like, what are they going to do? But they'd rip off like Tyron Tracy would have like something good. You're like, that was pretty fun. And then you're like, give it back to Cincy. They couldn't do anything because the defense of the Giants is pretty good as well. So you had like just 2 one-legged men in an ass-kicking contest. You're like, this is fun-ish in a perverse way, but also, oh boy, it'd be really good if Jamar Chase could get that 6th reception for Jimmy's wallet, just saying. But T. Higgins went off instead.
Dude, it was awesome. You can't not talk about the fucking Joe Burrow. Fuck it, I'll do it myself.
That was good.
54
yard run.
Was it? 47.
Absolute wheels too. He's just like, fuck it. He was like running away from the defender.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
Yeah.
This is awesome. So that was good.
Look, the big takeaway from this for New York for me is that defensive line is fucking legit.
Yeah, they're awesome. Like
Burns went off his fucking head.
I still can't believe Carolina just gave him away.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah, Dexter Lawrence
is fucking terrifying, sexy Dexy.
Yeah.
You've just got like dudes on that team where you're like, well, I don't want to play them.
Yeah.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
So good on him.
Oh, look, I expected Chase and Higgins to go off more, but he just didn't have the time.
No.
He just couldn't step up into throws to get it deep to them. So they're still, 70+ yards each, but it just didn't get, the Bengals couldn't get into their gear.
Well, the Bengals they scored 25, 33, 34, 38, 17.
Yep.
Like, that's how good the Giants are. Like, that's fucking nuts. So, good stuff by them. Just, like, if I'm the rest of the NFC East, I'm like, I don't want to do that.
No.
And you've got them this week.
We got them this week.
Fuck.
Yep.
Then we had the Jets hosting the Bills. I love it when they say a New York showdown, and you're like, that's Jersey, and that's upstate New York. Fuck off. Like, what are you doing? And you're playing in New Jersey. This is bullshit. But 23-20, the Bills pull out the win. Aaron Rodgers wasn't stoked at the end. It's pretty funny. Just a shit fucking look at his face and going, oh, I don't like this at all. You're like, oh, maybe you should have fucking rocked up to OTAs. But Breece Hall at least got going, 113 on the ground. And there was like 2 or 3 different fucking just like knockouts by the Bills where it's like, that could have broken the game open. I think there was basically Taylor Rapp had like a tackle as well on Breece Hall that basically stopped the touchdown.
Yep.
Like, it was just fucking hardcore. Like, I did not expect the Bills defense to be as good as they were because I tipped the Jets. I expected the dead coach bounce, and they just didn't.
No, to be honest, to be fair, all of this happened in the first half.
Yep.
Right? It was 17-13. Well, to be fair, it was 2010 until the Hail Mary.
Yep.
Like, right on Aaron Rodgers doing fucking Rodgers things that no one else has ever, like, I'll get, if I can get one Hail Mary in my career as time is expiring, I'll be pretty happy. Fucking Alan Lazard 4 yards.
He was always in by the end of it as well. He's like, sure.
Yeah.
Was it 52? Yeah, 52 yards in the end.
Yep. And so all of a sudden they're going in at 2017 and you're like, oh, fuck, this has been wildly entertaining. Fucking after a couple of shit weeks in terms of the run game, Breece Hall was averaging 6.3 yards a carry. I'm like, oh, here we go.
Garrett Wilson was doing shit as well.
Yeah.
Like, he looked fucking
They were
awesome
connecting
and
well.
fast. He had another 100 yards and a touchdown, but
just not in the second half at all. Just everyone just tightened up, and there was a total of 6 points in that second half. When
it was like the Ray Davis throw that Josh Allen had.
Yeah,
where you're like, you guys are just fucked now. Like, if you can't stop that from happening, like they got back into field goal range maybe off that as well.
Well,
but then there was the Tyler Bass missed field goal, which was fucking weird. The one where he completely shanked that.
Yep.
And Greg the Leg missed two. Due to the wind.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, right, fucking sure. But one
they
of them
were close.
was,
it was like 30
one was super
yards,
shit, and the other one was a bit longer, but goddamn. So
yep.
The Jets might be fucked here, Gats. They're 2-4.
Yep.
Because going into this game, I'm like, sneaky fun bounce back vibes, because I still just don't rate that Bills defense. They were fucking awesome today.
Yep.
So now I'm like, all right, the Bills are going to keep doing their Jekyll and Hyde bullshit probably all season, and they'll probably get to 10 wins, and the Jets are going to struggle to get to, from 2-4, they're going to struggle to get to 9, let alone 10. So, yeah, whereas Miami are fucked. Pats are fucked.
You guys are fucked.
So the Bills have just won the division, basically.
Yeah.
That's insane. God damn.
Yep. But
Anyway.
there's also this thing about they kept honing in on the chippiness, like at the end of the third quarter, there's almost, some punch-ons and stuff like that from last year's just carrying over. These teams, these division rivals don't like each other, Jim.
Is there no love lost? I haven't heard that one before. Not bad. All right, good job. That was the week. The buys obviously for KC, the Rams, Miami, and Minnesota. I will tell you, this popped off, I think, halfway through the late morning games on Monday. Yep. I'm like, you know what? It's fucking good just to have a bit of clear air without the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And this used to happen with the Pats. When the Pats would have the bye, it's like, fuck, it's actually not that bad just to watch all the other games and not give a fuck. Like, invested as a fan. But, like, it's almost the same with the Chiefs because they're so prevalent and it just bashes you over there. Look, it's Taylor Swift. It's like, yeah, we fucking get it. She's there for her boyfriend. Noted tight end Travis Kelce. Also good podcaster. Like, yeah, it was kind of nice not having them there, like sucking away like the fucking oxygen out of the room a little bit.
Just football.
You could just let everybody else have a fucking go. And like it was also funny to see Dallas get the shit kicked out of them because that becomes a funny story.
Yep.
But also it helped that we had the Raiders and Pittsburgh game because that was just like this funny old-timey clash and like the Raiders were hilariously shit. Like Atlanta, Carolina was like a fun, dumb fucking NFC South game. So yeah, it was fun. Yeah. Anyway, let's do some quick yeah-nahs. Bobby Saleh deserved to get the boot. Yeah, nah.
They needed some sort of a change, but I don't know, as you said, that it was on defense. But can you sack all three at the same time, Jim? Like, fucking, I don't understand how they've invested so heavily in that defense and yet they still let Nathaniel Hackett, who also lost his job.
He got demoted. Demoted from play calling duties.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a fucking train wreck. But if rewind to a couple of weeks ago when the article came out about the toxic environment that is the front office of the New York Jets and Rodgers comes out on McAfee and says, oh, sounds like that was written by Hassan Reddick's agent. And then 2 weeks later, no, you are a shit show.
That sounds like it's fucked.
Right. So look, to be fair,
Hassan Reddick switched agents as well. That was another story during the week.
He's on Drew Rosenhaus. Well, I think CAA dropped him, and now he's got Drew Rosenhaus, who's renowned for fair and not overly crazy. Yeah.
Good job. Does Vegas regret the Antonio Pierce hiring? Because I think there's something to be said for getting someone like Antonio Pierce in as your interim.
Yeah.
Then. And I fucking love seeing this happen because it always happens. When you stick with the interim going, no, he's the guy. And you're like, is he? And then it just goes to shit. And the thing is kind of going to shit. Like, I don't know. What do you reckon?
Well, I kind of agree, but they haven't put him in the best position of a starting quarterback. However,
Max Crosby also said, if you fire him in the offseason, I'm not coming back.
Correct. Yeah. So they did this on the back of the players coach.
Yep.
I've got my guys back. Blah, blah, blah. And then he made a few chicken shit calls in some early weeks where it's like, no, I'm not going to put it in their hands. Dan Campbell did that 15 times on the weekend. The Eagles went for 4 tush pushes in the first quarter in their own fucking
be who you are and be consistent.
Exactly. So I don't. Yeah, he's maybe he just needs that little bit more experience before he's going to head coach. I can't see him lasting.
They still fucked it by getting rid of Rich Bisaccia.
Yeah.
That was an interim coach where it all was seemingly actually just working.
Yeah.
Just like stick
but
with
I don't think you're going to go anywhere when Aidan O'Connell and Gardner Minshew is who you're hanging your hat on. Yeah.
It's a good point. Hey, is Chicago any good? Yeah, nah. They're 4-2.
Yeah.
But guys.
That division.
What do all the teams that they've beaten have in common?
Less than 500.
They are all 1-1. They've all won one game.
There you go. Yep.
So I fucking love going for the Bears.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
They're so weird.
Yep.
Like, it's great. I just don't know if they're good.
Yeah.
It's the Jags could be fucking a tire fire.
Yeah.
But they looked awesome against them. So I don't know. Anyway.
That's the same thing that's coming with the commies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that they look fun. They look fucking great. They've beaten a whole bunch of teams below 500. And yes, they've held their own with the other guys, but see how we go. And let's be honest, the Bears are in a pretty fucking tough division this year.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's the thing with the commies. They lost to the Bucks week 1. Then they've beaten the Giants, the Bengals, the Cardinals, and the Browns. Not exactly a murderer's row, but they've also looked fun doing it.
Yep.
They also now have 2 home games against the Panthers and the Bears. Washington.
Oof.
Not bad. Right, let's do some awards. First third of the season, NFL Straya Awards. Gaz, MVP, Jayden Daniels. Rookie of the Year, Jayden Daniels. Best Bloke, Jayden Daniels. Coolest hair, Jayden Daniels. Bloke I most want to buy a beer and hang out with, Jayden Daniels. And also Drake Maye. But also, boom. MVP is probably actually Lamar.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to give it to Jayden Daniels.
Okay.
Because this is the NFL Straya Awards.
Right.
What gets me going? It's probably just tuning in, watching the fucking commies and the Jayden Daniels just tear shit up and go, that's fun as fuck. Also, because I drafted him both fantasy leagues. I'm like so fucking pot committed to Jayden Daniels that I feel like the smartest dude ever because I got one thing right.
Yeah.
One. The rest of my draft shit shows, but still. Jayden Daniels. So MVP is actually probably Lamar. Jayden Daniels, though. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Jayden Daniels.
Yep.
Defensive Rookie of the Year, there was Taylor for the Seahawks, but I think he got injured a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
I can't remember some of the others. Best bloke, still Jayden Daniels. Cool.
Quinyon Mitchell's not allowed a touchdown yet, I don't believe.
Not bad.
Eagles doing all right. But yeah, this the defensive, I think because it was so offensive heavy high.
Yeah, it was like the top 15 picks.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think it's going to be some names that you're like, we're not expecting that kind of plug and play in defense.
Well, if you think about like the defensive leaders and shit like that for like sacks, it was Hutchinson, it's Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah.
Randomly Kyle Van Noy.
Yeah.
You're like, sure.
Sure.
But Max Crosby's at like 5.5 as well. Mm-hmm. The one that sort of randomly stands out to me is like Will McDonald, who's the defensive end on the Jets. You're like, fucking, yeah, give him help. Anyway, and Xavier McKinney, the Green Bay fucking cornerback safety.
Yeah. I think this is
he just keep every fucking week, he's just like, interception. Check this out.
This is the first week he didn't have one,
amazing.
I think.
NFL Straya award for most undead dude of the year. Damar Hamlin.
Mm-hmm.
He's runaway winner.
Yep.
But only just. Because Joe Flacco keeps chasing him down. It's like, how is he not a zombie, Gaz? Look at him. He's fucking older than Methuselah. That's a biblical reference. Joe fucking Flacco. It's just, I don't know, like how many, what do you do if you're like Hillary Clinton, like suck the fucking stem cells out of babies and shit? What all those fucking lunatics believe?
Yeah, I've gone blank on that.
Or it's probably Trump.
On that.
I don't know. But stem cells, is that it?
Nah. Something chrome.
Sure. Chromosomes.
No, echinochrome. No, I'm going
to. Oh, a necrochrome. Yeah. I know that shit. Yeah, it's Flacco. Like, I've got no other reasons. But Damar Hamlin, like watching again today, you're like, it's just fucking nice to see him out there again because he's not dead. Most disappointing player, Deshaun Watson.
I think
if you were paying him $55 million a year, he's probably 100%. Your most disappointing player.
We expected him to be shit. We're like, you know what? He's not all of a sudden going to turn around to the guy he was 4 years ago, but he's been remarkably shit.
Yeah, he's not been shit. He's been disastrous.
Yeah.
So when you say 4 years ago, there was like, even if you go back, 2024? I want to say 2017, 18. There was a bar around the corner from our apartment in New York, and I was like there by myself watching the Pats Houston game.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I hadn't been in this bar before, and it was to watch football at least. And I'm like, I'll just hang out here and have a quick couple of 80 tins. And he was scary. Like, this is the Will Fuller fucking fly around, cause chaos Texans against like the fucking, we're super solid defensively. We've still got Tom Brady Pats. You're like, I'm scared shitless. They're going to fucking win this game. I think the Pats ended up winning by a field goal, and it was just fucking terrifying. That's not the same dude.
No.
Like, flip side of Flacco and like baby stem cells or whatever, like Deshaun Watson's like fucking Freaky Friday himself with like Mac Jones or something. They're pissed in the same fountain. It's like, hey, you want to be shit? Oh, I'm also shit. And they're just like, what the fuck? Like, what just happened? It's amazing. I don't know. It's crazy. Anyway, most disappointing team, Jags. Just ahead of Cincy.
Yeah, look, I'd have to go with Jags because at least we expected them to regress to the mean while the other teams in the division were going to increase. Cincy, though, all right. Burrow coming back from a bit of an injury. Chase was MIA. They always start slow. Higgins out for a couple of weeks. They'll step up, and they kind of did against Baltimore. This week, fucking shit, but is it going to be a blip on the radar?
Yeah.
I still think they're a sneaky team now. I reckon they're still going to sneak into the playoffs.
Yeah, they're 2-4. It's like not...
Yeah, it's not the end of the world.
Shit, not disaster.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas Jags have been disaster.
It's coach firing. It's moving on, burn it to the fucking ground and start again.
Nice. Most unwatchable team is Cleveland. It is... You just watched it.
Yeah, it was real bad.
It sucks.
You're
just like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
There's Deshaun Watson, like, again, Freaky Friday himself with, like, I don't know, Brandon Whedon.
Yeah.
There you go.
Brandon Whedon.
There's another fucking shit Cleveland quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, they've definitely Freaky Friday themselves in some horrible fucking, like, I don't know, piss trough in Cleveland in some dive bar accidentally. And they're horrible. Like the Pats, at least, now with Drake Maye, you're like, oh, he's throwing it. That's fun.
Yep.
I guess. But Cleveland, it's like gouge your eyes out shit.
Yeah, and even last year, Watson was still just a shit, but at least you had Nick Chubb running through dudes, and you had that defense that was fun to watch because you'd get a high-powered offense come in and go, oh, you can't do shit.
Yeah.
But outside Myles Garrett, I mean, they're banged up in the secondary. I think they had 2 backup safeties, and Ward was in and out, so they had backups on like
their depth charts.
AJ Brown, there's nothing fun about Cleveland, both the city and the team.
But this is also what you get.
Yeah,
no, this is football karma.
Yeah,
like Baker got you to the fucking playoffs for the first time in 1 million years. You actually got to win, and you kick him to the curb and go pay a fucking sex predator, basically, allegedly.
Yeah,
allegedly, he's fucking settling all the time. Like,
yeah,
you don't settle when you're fucking innocent.
No.
Anyway, most fun team to watch is Detroit.
Oh,
Dan Campbell's balls are the size of Uluru. I love it.
And most teams would be like, all right, this is fine. We're in their hometown. We've got this covered. They're putting in Cooper Rush,
and he's like, no,
open the fucking playbook up.
Let's fucking
go.
It.
Let's go.
Let's fuck him up. Most shit. I wish I drafted him. Fantasy bloke. Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Kamara.
Yeah.
I still don't quite trust it. Whereas at least the Henry stuff, you're like, they're gonna do that all year.
Look, and I'm still would go
Jayden Daniels.
I'd still go Saquon. Apart from this week, he was averaging 130. It's weird because we had the early bye and the stats fall off the wagon. Yep. But he was averaging 130 yards from scrimmage every game, and you're like, oh, versus foresight, knowing exactly that Tua was going to go off, I wouldn't have taken Tyreek Hill with the number 2 overall pick. But then again, the number 3 forecast overall pick was CD, and he's literally their entire offense and can't get free. So
it's weird. Jayden Daniels is the correct answer there, I think, actually.
Yeah.
Considering I got him in like the 8th round each time.
Yep.
Anyway. Good bloke of the week. Who are we buying a beer after week 6? Dan Campbell for laying it on the Cowboys. That was fun as fuck.
Every NFC East fan who's not a Cowboys fan would agree with you right there.
I'm also going to get one for Kamani Vidal on the Chargers. His first ever touch in an NFL game was a touchdown.
There you go.
It's fucking awesome.
It's pretty good.
Like, that's even harder than I think in the AFL where it's like first kick was a goal.
Yep.
Because like, at least you control that, I guess.
Yep.
Anyway. Drake Maye's first touchdown, I'll buy him a beer, even though I don't think he's allowed to because he looks like he's fucking 4. Caleb Williams, as mentioned, best Chicago rookie quarterback ever already.
6 weeks.
6 weeks in.
Yep.
And Cole Kmet, not only did he score 2 touchdowns, that's pretty good for a long snapper.
Yep.
Because he was out there doing the long snapping, Gaz.
Well. Yep.
It was awesome. He couldn't even celebrate. He's like, oh, fuck, I got to get to the line and snap the fucking ball. So the dude can the little shit-ass kicker can fucking get it in. That was pretty good. Good job by Cole Kmet. Flog of the week, a.k.a. old mate, no mates. George Pickens, always fucking open. He writes it across his thing. I don't know, if you're always open, when the ball hits you in the hands.
Probably catch it.
Catch it? Just saying. I don't know how you can be a diva while being shit.
Yep.
Right? Oh, he's a wide receiver diva. But can you also be good?
Yeah.
That's part of it.
On the team with the least offense in the league.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Jerry Jones, obviously old mate, no mates, 82nd birthday. You got to watch that. Imagine being 82 first and then watching that second at home.
Yep.
Third. And it's all your fault. Fourth.
Yep.
Like, I don't know, man. I'm going to go drink me some Johnny Blue.
Yep.
So, out of a shoe.
To a nicer person.
Google that, Jerry Jones shoe. Also the Mike McCarthy thing, I guess, for Jerry Jones. He's got to deal with that. Like, that's his bed.
Yep.
Like, it's a bit of an old mate, no mates, because you're Mike McCarthy. You're like, I just pissed off the old man. Fuck. It'd be probably fine he doesn't fire people halfway through a season. It would be immensely funny if he became the first one to get in the neck.
I mean, I can't see it happening with this Cowboys team for a number of reasons. One is the last year of his contract anyway. Jerry Jones said a year and a half ago, were all in, and then doesn't pair a wide receiver. In fact, gets rid of Amari Cooper.
And can't afford Derrick Henry.
Can't afford Derrick Henry. Takes ages to pay CD till he pays overs. Takes ages to pay Dak till he pays overs. Still got to pay Micah Parsons. Doesn't bring in any sort of running back except your old.
I don't like how you're boning up now. It's weird.
It's fucking not. And then you go through the defense.
This is
where
Gaz
it's like,
deep in the Dallas subreddit. This is awesome.
No, but it also. That's my happy place. But no, what's the point in firing? Going, it's all your fault. No. It's kind of not.
Kind of
right?
making.
And I am definitely the last person to support or justify Mike McCarthy, but I'm all right with him keeping his job.
Yeah, you love it as an Eagles fan. Nick Brittiani,
yeah,
yelling at his own fans, shaving his head, just
he's
weird.
Getting a bit. I have to admit, I enjoyed it when there's a little bit of a bit of lightheartedness to it when you're winning, but then be a bit fucking humble, dude. Like, people are getting frustrated with the words that come out of Hurt's mouth, in terms of his phrasing and shit. But you know what? He's been the same fucking consistent, boring dude in terms of those, no man is an island, blah, 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 that sort of stuff, right? It's been the same consistent dude. Sirianni, at least kind of, I don't know, humble yourself up when things are not going your way.
Just chill.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
Will Levis, bloke took out the ball boys ACL, didn't even turn around to check on him.
Oof.
It's not great.
No.
Will Levis, what are you doing? Calvin Ridley, 8 targets, 0 catches, as mentioned. That's fucking just, I don't even know how you do that. Deshaun Watson. So this is one I alluded to earlier. So it's so much like just people go, how are they still starting him? Do you think they've actually taken it upon themselves going, fuck it, we'll just sacrifice this season to the football gods and we'll make a mockery of this motherfucker? We'll show everyone how shit he is.
Yep.
This will be pretty funny. We'll take one for the team. And the football god's like, no, you can't sit him. And they're like, oh, we tried, but the football god said we couldn't. It's crazy because he's that fucking bad. And Stefanski's just like, it's the boss's fucking call. And the boss is like, I'm paying this dude $1 billion. So we're going to play him. That's more punishment than he's actually copped so far.
There's something weird, is it 180 million or something left on his contract?
That dead cap hit's going to be amazing. Outback Takehouse. We nailed it, Gaz. A flame grilled take last week came completely true with Aaron Rodgers getting Bob Salah fired. This week, Doug Pederson, you better learn to like tea and crumpets, pal, because you're not coming home from England. And the next coach of your Jacksonville Jaguars will be Mike Vrabel only.
That's not on your notes.
Because the next coach of the Dallas Cowboys, after Mike McCarthy gets in the nick, will be Bill Belichick.
That's the rumors, mate. The rumors are either that or we've been talking about bringing him to Philly for years because that would be fucking hilarious.
Well, he wasn't going to go to the Jets because he fucking hates the Jets.
Yeah.
And they hate him. And they went out of their way to go and fuck him over multiple different times, especially behind the scenes. So he's like, fuck them, fuck Woody Johnson, fuck that shit. Belichick in Philly would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Belichick in Dallas feels perfect.
Yeah, because he's got that. But apparently he's got a great relationship with the Jones family.
Yep. Jacksonville, as I said, I don't trust Bill Belichick in a warm climate.
Yeah, look, I could never see him coming to Philly because Jeff Lurie doesn't hire defensive head coaches.
There you go.
Whereas there is a history of Jerry Jones doing it.
Yep. Nice one. Little Aussie Battler of the Week, aka the Aussie Spotlight. We got a primetime all Aussie punt off.
Yeah.
There's actually quite literally a highlight clip of Mitch Wish versus Dicko.
Yeah, right.
It's fucking awesome.
That's pretty good.
Just do you want to watch a punting highlight? Yes. This is going to be, look where he landed that one. It was awesome. I'm not going to lie, it was fun as shit. Go watch that. Obviously, Jordan Mailata goes out injured. That's probably not great.
That's not great.
Not great for the Eagles' O-line. Daniel Falele had okay moments against that Washington defense, but it's the Washington defense, so it's not bad. Torrey Taylor out there in London. Hey, ball with the Saints. It was pretty good, but it was the Mitch Wish Dicko show for me this week that was really fun. Yeah. Watching that Friday morning, I'm like, stop scoring. Let him kick more. What the fuck? So, Captain Fantasy, very quickly, massive games. You had Chris Godwin, 35.5, Sean Tucker. So just a couple of Buccaneers just fucking running over the top of everybody. 34 for Tucker out of nowhere. Caleb with 28. Mixon coming back with 27. Baker and Love were really good as well with 26s. Bijan and Derrick Henry, 25s.
Yep.
Good to see Bijan actually pop off again. Okay, no. AJ Brown, back with a bang, 23. Terry McLaurin, 23. Mark Andrews returns as well. Of course, I started Isaiah Likely because I'm going to I'll do that all year too. Like I'll alternate between the two and get it wrong every fucking week. Panic stations, are there any ones that you're sort of worried about in terms of fantasy stuff?
Oh, the tight ends still, in general, obviously went out this week. When you've got, McBride's going off, but if Harrison's not there, like they're very one-dimensional. Brock Bowers started out shit hot, but now you got Aidan O'Connell. Like the whole tight end scenario is a little bit squirrely throughout the league.
So I think I was ready to add like Wilson and Breece Hall to this one today, but they both went off, and you're like, fucking, that's handy. Jesus. Outside of that, though, like, I think Bijan popping off again this week was pretty good. Mark Andrews. And I'm like, there are some other sort of weird, Kwame sort of dudes that you look at, and you look at anyone on the Tennessee offense is just fucked.
Nothing.
Like Seattle, it feels like each week they sort of cycle through like, oh, God, we don't know what's happening. Kenny Walker has like a awesome week one week and then just doesn't do shit the next. And what the fuck? So, I don't know. There's some weird ones out there. And I think on the Raiders, you just don't want anybody on that one either.
No.
So, anyway. Right. Let's do some picks. I think you smashed me by 5 this week. So I think all the ones we had different, you won.
Yeah,
is that right?
Much. Yeah, pretty much. I've done picks because I don't have the lines.
I don't have the lines either. So we'll have to do this
on the fly.
Live. Because I didn't write in the lines yesterday because it was a little bit early, and then we ended up doing an NBA Straya today. So let's do it. NFL Week 7. We have a Denver Broncos Saints game that's kicking off Friday morning at 11:15. The New Orleans Saints at home are 1.5-point underdogs. Can this defense travel? I'm still going to go with New Orleans just because I do not trust Denver. Even if it's Spencer Rattler, you've still got Spencer Rattler versus Bo Nix. And at home, I don't mind the Saints.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Denver in this one. It's a little bit of they didn't do a lot this week, but gotta give it a crack.
Jags are 5.5-point favorites against the Pats in London. I think I might go Jacksonville. I think that 5.5 is a lot though.
It is a lot.
Maybe New England. Because if you think about Drake Maye against that Jacksonville defense, if they can run on them a little bit, 5.5 is probably a little bit too much for me.
It is a lot. I don't know enough about what I think of Maye and New England yet. I know you've got a hard on, but I'm just not sure what I think enough about it yet. And playing for your job, time for if you don't pull something out of here, Dougie, then
that's kind of it, right? I might go Jags just because of that. Because it's like, oh God, I'm gonna get fucking fired if I don't win this.
Yeah.
5.5 though. Is there enough offense there? Fuck it. Go on, Pats.
All right.
Seattle, Atlanta. This is gross. 2.5-point favorites somehow at home. Atlanta. I am going Atlanta in a fucking heartbeat.
I'm going Atlanta. Yep.
Seattle get an extra little bit of rest, but Atlanta played Carolina. They're at home. Seattle defense is shot. Buffalo, Tennessee at Buffalo, 8.5-point favorites. Now, I think there is a thing here, Gaz, where the biggest favorite each week, every single week bar last week, so not the week prior, actually, so 2 weeks ago now, hasn't covered. Can Tennessee cover 8.5?
Dude,
No.
Levis, no. Levis put up 95 points, and Buffalo looked fun against that New York. It's only 23 points, but it was still that New York defense who's been doing okay.
True.
So.
Cincy, Cleveland, AFC North battle. The Browns are 4.5-point underdogs at home.
I'm going Cincy in this one.
That Browns defense hold off that Cincy offense?
Cleveland's banged up in the secondary.
They are. Give me Cincy too.
That defensive line, Myles Garrett is still a menace, but they're not what New York was this week, having seen them both. And I think Cincy will be this is the time to start getting right.
Yep, I agree. I just don't trust. Like, the Cincy defense is shot, but like Danny Dimes and Taylor couldn't do fucking anything against them. So, yeah, let's go Cincy. Green Bay host Houston. How good is this game? Jordan Love versus CJ Stroud. Fucking yes, sign me up. 2.5-point favorites are the Green Bay Packers. I'm going Green Bay at home as well.
Yep.
There's just something about that Houston defense that just sort of like, they're pretty good. But if Jordan Love gets on like a hint of a roll, like they look fucking great.
Yeah, Love's been looking better week on week since he's come back.
To the point where I look at that Green Bay team and I'm like, ooh, NFC champions, question mark? They're not afraid of the Niners.
No.
They're not afraid, I think, of anyone in the East.
No.
Don't think they're afraid of anyone in the South.
Them and the Lions?
Maybe.
They got to get
I
over
feel like
them
against the Lions defense, they'd fucking carve it up.
Them over Mini. It's
interesting.
Anyway, I mean, look, Houston are great, have weapons, still, as you said before, have a few moments of, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
And letting shitter teams hang around. So there's a few more question marks, I feel, than over Green Bay at the moment. So
Indy are 3.5-point favorites at home against Miami, who come off the bye.
Yeah, but
Anthony Richardson back. I think Indy should be just too good.
Yeah.
Just
Miami's just
they don't have a quarterback.
So disappointing. Just so disappointing.
A-Chain also had a concussion 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
So he should be out of the protocols now.
Yeah.
But most it's healthy again, I think.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
If you don't have a quarterback, Indy should be too good. Yeah. Minnesota, Detroit, what a game this is. Houston, Green Bay, and then fucking Detroit, Minnesota. Let's go.
Yeah.
Minnesota are 2.5-point favorites against the Lions. That's inside. I'm going to go Detroit.
I'm thinking that, mate. After this week. Yeah, you know what? Even with Hutchinson down, I'm going with Detroit.
That is a tricky one, but it's still Darnold. Darnold had like some pretty fucking rough second halves going into their bye. So maybe he's a little bit healthier. But Philly Giants, what do you reckon the line is on this one, guys?
Oh, I don't even want to think about it. I'm going to go 4.
Plus 3.5.
Oh, there, I'll pick 4.
Can Philly beat the Giants by 3.5? Oof.
I'm going
to say no.
Yeah, I'm really.
The half is a pain in the ass because I think if Philly win this is like 20-17 or some shit.
Yeah, I'm really concerned. Like there's one thing about Hurts. It's the fumbles and the turnovers. There was something I did mention before. It was the first game this season without a turnover.
Nice.
And he does have a habit of trying to buy time for AJ and Smitty to get open and holding the ball for too long. And that defensive line can cause chaos. So I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to.
Yeah, I do. I worry about the Giants' offense keeping up, but I mean, with all those injuries as well, maybe. Don't know.
Need to start fast.
Rams 5.5-point favorites against the Raiders. I'm going the Rams because the Raiders are real shit.
Yeah, I'm going with you. This one.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Carolina, Washington. Yes, mate. 7.5-point favorites of the Commies. It's a bit of a funky line. Carolina, they'll put up a bit of a fight. Still probably going to go Washington.
Yeah, I've just stuck in Washington there. I think that was like similar to what happened this week. I think they may be able to hang around with them for a half or something like that.
Yep.
And then, your mate, Jayden Daniels. Jayden.
How have we fucked this so badly? The Kansas City Chiefs are playing in the late afternoon game against the San Francisco 49ers. Mm-hmm. You might remember such teams as these from the fucking Super Bowl. And on Sunday Night Football, we have the New York Jetropolitans against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
This is the definition of why we have flexing.
What the fuck is this? What the hell are you doing here? This is why you need the vice president of common fucking sense. You make Jim just go, hey, Jim. Super Bowl rematch, Saturday Night Football, or Jet Steelers? We're thinking Jet Steelers. I'm like, what are you doing, idiots? Bang! Slap them around the back of the head. Boing.
To be fair, they just don't want, it's in San Fran, so they just don't want people to be asleep, Jim.
I'll pay that. -1.5 favorites are the Niners at home, which is pretty crazy. But I mean, that sort of makes sense as your home team. Niners healthy. I think KC.
Oh, I'm going KC.
Yep.
Oh, I tried to get in there before. Yes, I don't think
That was pretty funny. We typed that in instantaneously.
Yeah.
Jets, Pittsburgh, as mentioned. Oh, so actual Chiefs, Niners. Niners a bit banged up on defense. I feel like the Chiefs just they just fucking win.
Yeah,
That's just what
they
they're
are
doing.
once again banged up. But what does Andy Reid not do, Jim?
Lose after a bye.
That'd be correct, Jim.
He just doesn't. Then we have the Jets, Steelers. Somehow the Jets, after that game, we just saw a 0.5-point favorites in Pittsburgh. I guess that's the defense, but don't I trust Pittsburgh's defense to be better than the Jets' defense to get after a dude who blew out his fucking Achilles?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting a Jets vibe out of this game.
Yeah,
I might go
opposite. I'll go Pittsburgh.
I like the Jets' defense and obviously Pittsburgh's defense, but when Pittsburgh have no offense anyway, adding the Jets' defense to that equation,
This does scream out though that Denver Jets game where it was like 10-9.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
Then we have a doubleheader on Monday.
Hmm.
Awesome. Gerald, I'm going to take next Tuesday off. He's not my boss. What the fuck? Anyway, Baltimore, Tampa Bay. Awesome. And then, very similar vibe as we've had on some of these doubleheaders, a potentially shit game as well with Chargers Cards.
Mm.
But Ravens Bucks should be fantastic.
Yeah.
So the Bucks are 3.5-point favorites.
What?
No. Underdogs. At home. I'm still going to go Baltimore. I think their defense is just rounding into shape properly.
Yep.
And then finally, Chargers, Arizona. In Arizona, 2.5-point underdogs are the Cardinals. I don't mind a bit of a home underdog there.
Yeah, I'm thinking Cards. Look, it's difficult. I'm going to try
actually
not
They
to.
don't have Marvin Harrison after the concussion. I'll probably go the Chargers then.
Oh, he might not make it back from the protocol, right?
Yep. Because that is a Monday game, but it's still only 8 days. So, yeah, it's a bit of a tough one.
That's enough to probably make me change.
And it's only 2.5, so if the Chargers win that by a field goal,
Yep.
Arizona defense isn't great. Yeah. And on the buys, we've got Chicago and Dallas. So I guess this is Mike McCarthy's week to fix everything or get his ass fired, I guess. So
Yeah.
nice one. So we've got a couple different again this week. You are leading probably by, back out to 6, I think. I think I put it back to 1 was the difference or something like that. Anyway,
All right.
I haven't updated the spreadsheet. Fuck it.
I think
That's
I've got
it.
3 different.
3 different. All right. But there are some amazing games next week.
Yeah.
Can't wait to do my little 5 best games of the week video this week because there's a fucking bunch of them. But that's it. 106 done in the bag, Gaz. How much fun is this doing in person?
In person.
We could just do Romeo Dubs hugs after this. Big cuddles.
It's going to be even better when it's proper summer. Jim, I've come in the studio in shorts.
It's like,
when it's real summer.
Gaz needs to put on pants to get in. He's not wearing jocks. What's going on? Left nut Gaz, they'll call him. But in the meantime, make sure you subscribe, comment, get around us on YouTube. I think we're almost at 1,000 subscribers.
Oh, that's let
nuts.
me. I'm just got to quick and look it up, Jim. 996.
So
by the time this goes to air-
4 people listening to this right now go, fuck, I better subscribe.
Yeah.
Should all be good. So check us a follow on the old YouTube. Subscribe. You hit the little bell button.
Yeah.
And you get a fucking notification every time it actually happens. Yeah. Check us a follow on Facey, Twitter, IG, all the good stuff there as well. TikTok. Lots of videos on TikTok now too. Thank us a rating and review on your Apple Podcasts, your Spotify, and on YouTube, of course. Make sure it's all good. And whatever weird app you're using, weird Android phones, you weirdos. It does help heaps. I just don't know what you do with those things. It's weird.
YouTube. Same by the same company, mate.
YouTube Music. Big thanks, House Hats, always for the intro and outro song. Go listen to their album. And get around all the other shows we've got. NBA Straya is back with a fucking vengeance. A lot of yelling today. Got weird. Producer Gerald was laughing his ass off at one point. I'm like, I don't even remember what I said. It was pretty weird. AFL today, though, we've got a massive live show Wednesday night, which will be pretty fun for the trade shit. AFLW today is going
By that
strong.
stage this week, Jim. Sorry, switching off. By that stage, will Clayton Oliver be paying Geelong to play there?
Cotton On will be paying him.
Yeah, Cotton On will be paying.
Under the table in fleecy woolen jumpers.
Yeah.
Cricket Today podcast is back and doing lots of fun shit as well. Football Today podcast if you like your EPL. And I guess Hold All Tickets, the other one, the GGs. So lots of fun stuff there. Anything you want to plug there, Gaz?
No, I don't know what to do with myself now, Jim. I've done a run.
You've run a marathon.
I've got, I'm planning shit for next year. Ramshackle's going on tour next year.
To pay attention to the NFL.
I know. I'll actually have to watch. Summer's coming up. I'm looking forward to smashing tins.
Someone else will have to do the notes.
Find something else to fill in my time. Just annoy the shit out of you.
I love it, but also very proud of you. That was awesome.
Yeah,
I was
thanks.
stoked. I thought it was fucking epic. So
Yeah,
you're a
my
legend.
legs were not my friend, but now I'm planning next year's. Next year,
one.
Tim, you've got 12 months.
Can't you do the
We're
one
on
in
an
Ballarat
end
in
for
April?
May, and it's actually on my. Oh, it is April, May, and I'm. It was actually on the prospective ones that I'm looking to do.
It's gonna
Thinking
be May.
Thinking of doing that one.
Nice one. All right, good stuff. Join in with Gaz if you want to run a marathon.
There you go.
He needs the company.
And subscribe to us. I'm just stats nerding out about our YouTube channel now because it's
Good.
like nearly 1,000.
It's crazy.
In like 2 months.
Love that. All right, we'll be back next week. So we'll catch you in a bit, you dickheads.
See yous.
Later, Hosen.